lies to get me and I get too easy to see the truth. I never want this to burn out. I never want us to burn down. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. I didn't lose you, you lost me. You lost me. Whoa. Driving through the clouds, waiting for the sun to come out. Just wanna see your face, wanna see your face, 'cause it's the only thing I'm needing now. Raise your cup, but cheers into life, cheers into life. Hey, raise your cup, cheers into life, cheers into life.
You've been calling me 1,000 times all through the night. Must be something on your mind. You know that you're lonely and you've been for a while. I see it in your eyes, I see it in your smile. I don't wanna let go, I don't wanna let go. We've been wanting more for so many years, and now it's finally here, finally here. I don't wanna hold back, I don't stay and make a home. It's written on my
Hello,
heart
Sean.
and in my soul. You're the
Hello,
one
everybody in the
good
crowd.
thing.
What do we got so far?
And I don't think
Got Lobo down there. Jelly. Ost. Ooh. Hello, everybody.
You're the one good thing I know. So tell me that it's all okay. Tell me we
Ooh,
will
that's a
find
nice
better
t-shirt, buddy.
way.
Yeah.
Just tell me that it's all okay.
It's like, what shirt today?
Tell me that we'll
Easy,
find a better
an easy
way.
decision.
I almost have that shirt. Almost.
Better day.
Yeah.
And we got a boy mug. Jelly. Who are you?
It's everything.
Hey guys,
Promise me we'll find a better way.
1000 beer.
Woo.
Nice.
Andrew, you coming up to say hi into the crowd?
Guess so. Yeah, Wilder's not here today, so by default, I am the go-to, of course. I think Zyfoid will be here as well. Represent directors. He's going to be a little bit late, but what I wanted to comment on also was I actually had an Algorand shirt on, and right before I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to take it off, and then of course you guys all have boy stuff on, so it's just a little funny to me.
We support chain diversity, but this was a voy off on the shirts and everything. You gotta get one.
Yeah, Chris, where's mine? I thought we were friends. I
Yeah, it's
haven't
called
gotten anything.
actually, participating in the public. If you came to East Denver, you'd have got one, sir.
Fair enough.
I'm thinking about doing was it Sticker Mule? They have they do t-shirts as well, and they actually will do one-off t-shirts for you. I was thinking about doing a t-shirt design just for like a one-off. It only costs $20, and they would print a custom t-shirt for you. And I was like, maybe I can do like a t-shirt logo competition for like 1 million via or something of that sort, so I can make myself one t-shirt.
Hell yeah, I'm game for it.
I'd like a nice but it had to be like a really well designed one with yeah. Hello, everybody else. Who we got in the crowd? IRL. Hello. Still waiting for people.
And just why I have the mic too. Just give me a little slack this week. I do want to give a shout out to Wilder. I did know how much he did, but when you are actually in his shoes and leading the initiatives, it is he deserves more than he gets. I'll just say that. So shout out to Wilder.
He's on a much needed vacation right now, so that's nice.
Yeah. So he'll be back, I think, in about 2 to 3 weeks. I think something like that. I think he'll be on. He might be joining some of the calls, but he'll probably be checked out for the most part. So,
for him. Good for him. I was supposed to be on vacation this week.
Where were you? Going back to Colombia?
I was going to go to Mexico.
Oh.
But I'm having to watch my kids this weekend, so I had to cancel those plans.
Dang kids.
Are we about ready to start this, or are we waiting? What are we waiting? What are we waiting for, Shanti? Did Cody start recording yet?
I don't.
Well, hello, everybody on YouTube.
Chris.
Oh, well, Shanti, over to you.
Okay, welcome everyone. We have an exciting week. Unfortunately, Wilder is not here with us today, so Andrew will be filling in for him. So thank you, Andrew. But we have a busy day. We have a couple due diligence presentations and a probably shorter open floor today than normal. But we will get started.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you, Shanti. One thing I do actually want to talk about, I'm not sure if you guys saw my announcement on in Discord, but I made an announcement this morning that I would love to actually kind of talk about a little bit. See if anybody has any questions about anything. But for the most part, let's just get this thing going. Hello again. Welcome everybody for joining. It's as always one of my favorite parts of favorite meetings of the week is when I get to talk to the governors, the people that are connected to the community. But I wanted to just do a reminder of every time why we're here, why you're putting in the effort, why this is important, why you shouldn't get bored by doing this, and why you shouldn't be going through the motions. And the reason for that is because the whole reason why we're doing this in the first place is because of Voy. Building and working and willing into existence a blockchain that is designed to be community focused, that is designed to be owned and operated by the people that are putting the effort in. And we're doing this because nothing out there exists like this today, because we're doing things differently. It's harder, 100% harder. I can tell you right now that doing things in a decentralized way by committee, making sure that everything is in transparency, it ends up going slower. It ends up taking more time to make sure that everybody's on the same page. But at the end of the day, it's the way that it needs to be done, and that's why you're all here. Because everybody in the community can't participate all the time. So there are a group of individuals that are rewarded, incentivized to participate more, to be the connection to the community. So if you are not connecting with your community, if you're not listening to what they have to say, if you're not out there reading the Discords, probably the governance committee is not for you, because you are the representation of them. And many of you out there do a great job. You're communicating with the community, you're doing the due diligence, you're doing all of the extra work, and it is extremely appreciated. But one of the things that the only way that a blockchain can scale, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of all of you, is that scale in a decentralized way is that it has a strong set of values. Values that are simple, they're easy to understand, and then they fit and they kind of define who we are. So then when we do expand, like I mentioned earlier, then when we do take that next step, that next phase into bringing thousands and tens of thousands, hopefully hundreds of thousands of people in, we can do so without losing who we are. And we do that through a strong set of values. Andrew, since you're here for Wilder, guess what?
What's
I want to
up?
ask you, sir, what are the 4 values of Voy?
Boy, shoot, my camera is going off here. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh shoot, I should have known this was going to come too. Give me 1 second, loop back to me, and then I'm going to remember them all.
What do you?
Yeah,
you
I'll find a doc real quick.
Oh goodness!
Doesn't it make a whole bunch of money? Something like that.
My goodness. Yes, Benny helped you out with the initials. Can you do it from the initials, sir?
I can. So it's going to be. Oh man, I just can't. I'm blanking on these words being put on the spot here. I do know it. So it's oh my gosh.
Goodwill.
Goodwill. Yes, and then I'm trying to think of the one for the eyes. It's the oh geez, we just talked about it, I think last week. Intentionality. There we go.
Intentionality is the final one. What's the other eye? They actually both start with the same 4 letters.
Take me off now. Just vote me off. It's going to be integrity. Integrity. I should start going. I think I can easily guess these actually. Integrity, goodwill, hardworking.
What's the C?
And the C is community focus.
Anybody in the crowd want to help them out?
Can I phone a friend? Collaboration.
Shelly. Oh, all right. So
next week I'll come on and I'll do.
That's why we do this, to actually publicly shame you for not knowing. Now next week you will 100% sure. So next week you better be up here again, and we're gonna ask you again.
Be. I will actually. I will be wild. It'll be gone, so I have no choice. So
yeah. So yes, goodwill. Goodwill meaning that when you see new ideas, see new people come in, and even if they're bad ideas, you have goodwill. You believe that they're here to help, and then you are there to help them. So taking away the toxicity doesn't mean you can't ask questions, but you are problem solvers. You are there to, when you see bad things, you give feedback on why they can be better. I see in blockchain today, there's way too much toxicity. There's way too much flag waving, oop throwing. Can't be, because what we need to do is we need to be accepting. We need to understand that people are coming in, they're going to have their own ideas, and those ideas actually might be better, and you might not think they are. But having goodwill is super, super important. But if people have goodwill towards you, you 100% need to have integrity. You need to make sure that you are doing the right thing. You are actually doing what's best for the community on the whole. You need to make sure that we are thriving as a society. And so you have to have very strong integrity. And also collaboration. Like back to the whole, like no poop flinging, no competition. We believe here that the potential for blockchain is way greater than it is today. And that is okay. And that is great for collaboration. This is why I push open source so much, and why I ask people really hard not to be closed source, because we are too early to not be helping each other. And open source work, freely giving answers, helping people be successful, allows us to truly achieve the potential blockchain is supposed to do. So collaboration is very, very important, especially at this stage. Maybe in 20, 25 years, we'll be less collaborative, but who knows at that point. And then the final thing is intentionality. We are a small group. We are a small group of very passionate believers that make up the foundation of Voy. But we need to be intentional. We can't just be, this is not a fun hobby for us. We are really trying to change the world. And the only way that we're going to be able to do this is if we do things that are within our skill sets, that are within the goals and missions of what Voy is overall. And we're very just intentional with our actions. We ask what actually moves the needle and do that instead of just doing things for fun. Intentionality is one that I want to actually focus on this week. Intentionality is, I think, something that is a very big, important thing, especially at the stage that we are. And this is not just for like developers. A lot of time we talk about like developers, like what are you building? Like I think we highlighted D13 last week for his intentionality. He saw need and he did it, and that requires development. But this has nothing to do with development. I mean, it's part of it, but this means that if your skill sets in marketing or being your, what do you call it? The kids say your Riz is dripping or whatever. You have a lot of charisma or whatever. Your skills matter, and being intentional with your skills to further Voy's development is what matters. And I want to call out one person this week specifically that is not a developer by any means. It's kind of crazy for a lot of things that he does. But he stepped in. He has charisma. People like him. People like listening to him. He stepped in and helped with the spaces this week. So I'd like to shout out to Ted. Ted, is always asking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And something came up. We decided to change up how our spaces work. And Ted came in and offered to help host, to actually add something extra into the excitement. And we need more of that. We need more people out there. A lot of people actually in the government community, you don't have development skills, but you have other skills. Rach has great organization skills, stepped in with that. Scotty, same thing in a different aspect. But at the end of the day, come and be intentional. Use your skills to help promote Voy. And Ted did a great job of that. So Ted, if you're watching this, congratulations. You're being called out for a job well done. And I want to call out more non-development developers from here on out. And using your platform, using your skills, using what you have, no matter what they are, to help make Voy a better place. So be very intentional with that. I think it's super important. So thank you, Ted. Thank you, everybody. But you keep on doing it. This is exciting.
And Chris, I'm going to jump in one more time. I know I said it at the beginning, but just for those who weren't there, I did also want to shout out Wilder again, just kind of going into his shoes of the director. I mean, obviously I'm a director, but he leads a lot of the directors meetings, the agendas, stuff like that. Just going through it and actually stepping in his shoes. He does a lot of work. So definitely tell him you guys appreciate it, because I know I mean, we do get incentives for this director work. He gets a little bit more than I do, but honestly, he deserves probably more. So at least give him a thank you in return.
He's done a tremendous amount of work.
Be happy you don't have to deal with me for the whole time.
Amazing. Thank you for that shout out, Andrew. And if anybody else wants to shout out anybody, please let me know. It's people don't get enough credit for all the hard work that they do. So it's all super beneficial. So thank you for that. But back to you, Shanti, for the next part of this call.
Okay, thank you. We will move right to the due diligence presentations. And let's see, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong agenda. Is Lobo here? Yes. It's coming. So Lobo
Hello.
will, yeah, Lobo, thank you.
Okay, let me
Was
see.
presenting D&D for Gems Pay, which was put in by Frostbits.
I just have to get all the links to all the versions. Give me a sec. Because there have been 2 revisions on the proposal. Okay, here they are. So the newest one is the third one. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm presenting due diligence on GemsPay, submitted by Frostbit Solutions, and they are requesting 125 million via. So the quick summary, the problem. Integrating essentially crypto payment solutions on any website in an easy way. So there have been some people were confused, I think, about the first proposal, myself included. So I didn't know what that was about, but it's really essentially just that. So not just, but it's that. So you want to integrate a crypto payment solution on your website, ARC200 for ARC72, for example, then you can use GemsPay. So the solution is GemsPay, and it handles payment processing for sales of NFTs, for example, but also real-world assets, similar to what PayPal does for various e-commerce platforms. And the team is the team from AlgoGems, an early NFT marketplace in Argument, and they have experienced well-educated developers and writers also on their team. Okay, the feedback. We had positive feedback like great team and project. Then people thought they would build an easily accessible tool to create tokens. That's not part of the proposal. Then in general, what I just mentioned, so people thought that it would be a general marketplace first, but it's not. And what I want to add is there will be an API for listings from which you can retrieve all important information. But there will not be, so GemsPay will not build Amazon. It will really build just essentially PayPal in this sense. So you have to integrate the UI interface for listings yourself. So not a marketplace. Exactly. What is the benefit for websites integrating GemsPay? And the benefit is just being even able to offer these crypto payments at all. Justification for the 125 million. It's not just a port from Argument to Voi. That's the important part. It is a completely new standalone product that needs to be developed using these new ARCs, ARC200 and ARC72. It also includes more. It includes auctions, English and Dutch, which are new to Voi. And it enables others to include the interface for crypto payments on their website through a development kit, which is more complex than just building one marketplace where you can control everything yourself. The general demand for such a solution, I essentially asked for, do you have examples? And I linked some so you can click through them. The first four are really essentially, they are similar to GemsPay, so that they offer crypto payment solutions. And the last two are more smart contract as a service. Then the question is, of course, the impact on Voi. And if we look at the timeline, it's not too far, or it's not a lot of time till mainnet hits. So we have to ask ourselves, so if it's now a testnet proposal and it gets delivered like close to mainnet, should it be even a testnet proposal? And the demand right now, so Xamian stepped up and said he was interested in integrating it on NFT Navigator to offer NFT listings. And if you look into the third revision, so the final one essentially, there is a letter of intent to do this. Also, there will be a general GemsPay website, and you can go there and essentially create peer-to-peer links. So it's not like you have to wait for another website to integrate GemsPay and then you can use it. It will be, you can go to GemsPay, say, okay, I want to do this peer-to-peer trade, let's do it. Then the fees that GemsPay will have still apply. At the moment, the curator fees, if it is an NFT, wouldn't apply. Then there was a comment about, okay, it's a proposal by Wider, so it shouldn't be just an easy yes. And I mean, it should pass on the merits of what they are offering and the competency as a development team. So it's not like just because it's Wider, we should be like passing it or should be more critical than usual. The timeline was, I understood it as 4 weeks till everything was essentially done. So an MVP. It is 4 weeks really for MVP with a reduced set of stuff that you can do, and 8 weeks till everything is ready. And we added milestones to cover exactly what the MVP will consist of and further steps. And then this also kind of answers the next question. If development turns out to need more time, then maybe they will just hit the first milestone. Then they will get the VIA for that, and then it's done, essentially. Development didn't start yet. There was a suggestion to get rid of the NFT aspect. They definitely want to include NFTs, and it also makes the most sense for the test. I mean, we kind of only have NFTs at this point. So getting rid of NFTs would mean that it couldn't be used at all during testnet. Someone was skeptical of UI UX due to experience with AlgoGems, and they admitted that AlgoGems isn't perfect, but it's still accessible and has users on Algorand. And they wanted too many things with AlgoGems. So their approach now shifted towards like focus on specific things that will add the most value to, in this case, Voi. And then essentially, so a pitch of Voi was also about like business purposes like rewards points and memberships. And could it be used for that? And the answer is yes. Okay, some spotlights. My opinion, something similar to GemsPay will definitely be needed in the future if we want to focus on, for example, like memberships and such points. And if we have this already during testnet, it could be battle tested. It'd be ready for the future. Xamian, as said, intends to build an NFT marketplace using GemsPay. It will also be able to handle crypto payments for real-world assets, so they don't have to be tokenized first, and then, so you don't have to like tokenize your whatever you want to sell. You don't have to create an ARC72 token and then sell it. You can just use GemsPay to handle the payment process. We added a lot of clarifications and milestones there will be competitive fees to list assets. And my question essentially was, okay, fees to list assets sounds a bit weird maybe at first, but if you look, for example, at AlgoX NFT, they also charge a listing fee. So it's not something that's completely new. And they made clear that it will be competitive, so it won't be like really huge fees. And then there will be a premium tier for bigger businesses with reduced listing prices. A focus also should be like the easy to use, easy to create links to do P2P swaps, or that links that you can post on any website. At the moment, in my opinion, it's technically possible to circumvent creator fees for existing NFTs. Yeah, just want to note that. Work needs to be put in to ensure that people don't get scammed. For example, if you look at the proposal, there was an image of a listing. And the image you see on the left there of the ARC72 NFT in this case gets uploaded by the one who wants to sell, by the seller. So essentially right now it's not automatically pulled from the ARC72 URL field. So people could theoretically try to scam people this way, but you all can also see like the seller address and the creator address for the NFT. So you can verify it this way. Projects who want to integrate Gems Pay still have to do a lot of work themselves, as I said. So, okay, you still need the whole kind of UI for the marketplace if you want to sell things. And just really the payment will be handled by Gems Pay. And if you look at the last revision, the up-to-date one, VSA compatible contracts are not part of the proposal yet. And in my opinion, that's not great, because I think we will see more VSAs during mainnet again. Because right now we are trying to push ARC200 and build infrastructure for ARC200, but it's not like VSAs will go away. Okay, recommendation. So it's, in my opinion, it's a bit hard to evaluate the token amount, because it kind of depends on the success and projects integrating Gems Pay. I think it's great that Xamian wants to use it to build an NFT marketplace. And if we look at, for example, Nautilus, who built an NFT marketplace and enables people to buy and sell NFTs for Voyo ARC200 tokens, they also received 125 million, but they also had to build the whole UI and have to, but Gems Pay will also offer more complex type of sales, so these Dutch and English auctions. People will be able to use Gems Pay for peer-to-peer stuff, and I think the real-world asset edition is really nice. So personally, the amount could be justified in my opinion. And in the end, I'm more in support of this proposal, but I think that the VSA support is kind of a must in the end, because if we don't have it, could be kind of weird for mainnet. Okay. Any questions?
Lobo, I do have just a couple here. To make sure I understood too. So when you mentioned there was a line item about being able to use crypto payments for RWAs, you just mean like people could use it to buy like a shirt or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
So
cool.
It's not. And the seller would just get a notification via the API or stuff, and could handle then distributing shipping the shirt or something.
Okay, makes sense. And then so I'm just kind of trying to run through this in my head. So I'm pretty supportive, kind of like you said, Lobo. I mean, I think this is probably a good value add. The only thing that I'm kind of getting hung up on is, okay, what is the value it's going to bring to mainnet, obviously, or to testnet. Obviously, the closer we move towards the end of testnet, the value kind of shrinks. Did I miss this? Maybe it was already in the proposal, but did he talk about anything about like post mainnet of how like in terms of like longevity of like transferring this over? Is this specifically just for testnet, or would
No,
this
no,
be
no.
okay?
So it's I think the main focus is actually mainnet and more kind of what Voi aims to have on its blockchain. So
Okay.
it's more like at the moment you could say that the valuation of GemsPay is maybe like meh because okay, someone will build another NFT marketplace. Competition is great, but after that, who will use it? Will someone else build another NFT marketplace, for example, on top of it? And then the question is, okay, does it really add value then again? So it's more about look into the future and think about like how important it could be, and do we need such a solution in the future? And in my opinion, we would need something like this. And then the question is, okay, do we build it then? Will developers come to Voi and say, okay, we would need a payment solution, nobody has one, then they, for example, would have to build it themselves, or they say, okay, there's no solution, so let's move on to the next chain or something. So it's more really like a focus on the future of Voi, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, and just one thing I kind of want to throw out too, just kind of the thought process that I go through on a lot of these testnet grants is looking, obviously what the value is going to be, but I think that, at least from my own personal standpoint, I kind of discount the value that we're getting now just because testnet is, obviously there's no value placed on these tokens. It's very speculative. I think, obviously doesn't mean we should just pass everything, give everyone what they want, but I'm a little bit more lenient in trying to bring on more products, more developers, more stuff for mainnet. So once we're there, we have it, and we're not necessarily giving out additional mainnet tokens, stuff like that. For me, I think this fits the bill. I like what it is, so I'll likely support it.
So
I have a few.
Yeah.
I have a few thoughts about this overall. I think that for the people that are maybe still kind of lost about what this actually is just think about this as a headless on-chain marketplace where you could buy and sell, or you could actually sell things on your own website rather than an individual marketplace. And like as Armin said, you could use this tool to build a full. I mean, pretty much what he's most likely going to do is take NFT Navigator and add the ability for people to buy and sell their NFTs through NFT Navigator directly. I think this is pretty cool. I think one of the big issues is the 125 million is high because like Lobo said, the not building of a UI that is like a central hub for all of these things, that's a lot of work that Nautilus is. So comparing this, apples to apples to Nautilus, it feels like there's less overall work being done for this. But as Benny talks about all the time, it's not about the amount of time, it's the amount of value being put in. If you guys believe that the value taken out of this is as much as what Nautilus is, then okay. The other thing that I think I was going to bring up after TD was going to present his, but I think that you all should be thinking about this is what happens if the incentivized testnet ends before the milestones are delivered? Do we say, sorry, you didn't get done by this time? What happens then? Because right now at 8 weeks, there's a good chance that the incentivized testnet is going to be done before this is the final milestone was actually delivered. So like that's a major thing to consider. And what do we do as a governance committee about those things?
I was actually asked exactly that question, and I straight up told them we have no rules. In my opinion, you would get no tokens,
right?
Or we would have to come up with rules. And I told them, in your case, I would add milestones to be safe. And so they added milestone in this case. So they are safe in some way.
So I have a couple of thoughts on this. It's interesting because there's kind of two sides to it. One, which is what Chris said, the headless NFT marketplace. And the second is payments. So having built a company that does exactly this, I do have a lot of thoughts. on that side of things. I know Zestbloom also were creating a headless marketplace as well. So it'd be interesting to obviously look at those needed. But the timeline is definitely something to consider. And also it's one of the ones where is it too early for applications, and should this more be framed around building a platform to enable applications to leverage it? Is something to consider too. So those are just some of my preliminary thoughts without going on a big deep dive on it, just given I've done this before from an architecture and development perspective. But other than that, I would just say on the milestones too, it would be better for them to be outcome based. I think, is there value in those milestones right now? Like, is it actually driving what we want to build here? And again, this might just be given, what limited time there is on the test, that if you will, is this enough time as well? Those are just my thoughts. But happy to talk about any of them in more depth separately. I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah, good comments. Question is, how would we deal with that now? I could see a reduced overall proposal, for example, if you want to call that, and maybe focus on something so that it could be used for Xamarin to build this NFT marketplace, for example, so we can see how it works, and if it works well. But maybe we should have a talk after this whole meeting, because we're running kind of low on time. Okay, how do I stop sharing? There's no button. Great.
And he's gone. All right. Thank you, Lobo. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lobo. Okay, so next we have TD here. He's going to be reviewing.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
The
I'll
DAO
get this
bot.
started. Mobile does not allow me to screen share, so I posted the DD document to Discord in the governor's channel. Hopefully you can access that. I'm presenting on the DAO bot submitted by Algo Squirrel and D Stain, and they're requesting 25 million via. Problem that we're solving here is that Voy lacks infrastructure to support DAOs. And this solution is a Discord bot, which can manage basic DAO style voting. Each proposer, I think, has background in development, community involvement. They've led application development teams, created Discord bots using Python to interact with blockchain, and they're top NFT holders in the Algorand community. So I think that makes them sufficiently qualified. There wasn't much community feedback on this proposal. However, Lobo made a comment how you can kind of look back at the X ballot proposal. In my opinion, this is a much skinnier version of that. Since it's just a simple Discord bot, I think of it like the Easy Poll bot, which a lot of people are familiar with, but with weighted voting based on asset ownership. And any other feedback that was provided or questions will be covered in my highlights. But some additional insight from the proposer that I wanted to at least make sure everyone's aware of. This is a minimal viable product, and I think they have plans to further develop it, improve it, add to it as demand in the future for more comprehensive DAO infrastructure increases. So my spotlights on the benefits, 3 main points. Number one, this allows for custom voting power based on-chain asset ownership. It supports multiple creator wallets. So if you have multiple collections, you can hypothetically apply different levels of voting power for different assets and different collections, while also being able to exclude specific assets in those creator wallets. For example, I'm just thinking of my own project. I have one of my creator wallets where I additionally created a whole bunch of multi-mint assets, and it's not part of the collection, so I would want to exclude them if I were to use this bot. Lastly, some talk was around how someone could possibly game the voting, and they were asking about when the voting snapshots would take place. There would be a snapshot initially when you entered the DAO. There would be snapshots during the voting, and then this is my understanding, at the end of the voting. So hopefully that kind of is enough to address those concerns. Point number 2, as far as benefits for a creator, it gives a lot of control and flexibility. So we'll see how people think about maybe it's too much flexibility, but I think it's a good thing ultimately. The creator has the ability to set parameters for how holders can create proposals to be voted on. So, for example, if you have 5 Moon Dragons, that qualifies you to create a proposal, or 10 DeFi dragons from a different collection. The creator has an option to disable holder proposals and simply use the bot for its weighted voting system. And this one might cause some, discussion, but the creator has the power to delete proposals. And in my view, I'm fine with that, because it would just be something the creator has to deal with. There might be community blowback. There would be consequences the creator would have to deal with if they did something like that. But I guess on the good side, it would allow them to get rid of proposals that are just nonsense or goes against some kind of rule that they can create for their community. As I was thinking about this, this isn't like creating a DAO. I think the proposer was maybe a little bit too loose with that phrase. This is creating DAO-like voting and a way to manage a voting system. Lastly, point number 3 is around how users can view DAO membership. They can check on their voting power in the different DAOs or communities that they're involved with. They can check on all outstanding proposals and votes that they may not have completed. And they can access, for what DAOs they're a member of, they can access a transparent voting database maintained by AlgoSquirrel and DStain. As far as how this would be sustainable and profitable, it was clear from the proposer's point of view that costs to maintain this are negligible. It didn't seem like a concern to them. However, I brought up the possibility of either charging a fee instead of the 0 VOI transaction required to register, or requiring certain asset ownership in order to use the bot in the future, just so that they can bring in some kind of revenue if needed. And they didn't rule that out. As far as milestones and outcomes, the goal, of course, is wide adoption by different VOI communities, much like people use that Easy Poll Discord bot, but they want at least 5 creators to use it in testnet. They plan to have this all ready in May. I was told that it'll be up and running on Algorand in a few days, or maybe even next week. So that's something that we can test out if we want, or at least experience the UI UX through Discord. I think this was a pretty straightforward one. I recommend we support the proposal. Like I said, it's a skinny Discord version of the X ballot proposal, which maybe was asking for too much, and this is only asking for 25 million. Much better place to start with, I think, on VOI, because the concern was around the demand for such a thing. The proposer does tout the great user experience that we'll be able to test out. It's open source, and it also satisfies the ARC72 Discord bot bounty, which calls for a token amount matching what's being requested here, 25 million. That's all I had to say about that.
I want to talk about a couple of things, TD. By the way, I believe I also support this. I think this is actually a great proposal, but I want to be very clear is that this is not an on-chain DAO. This is not this is very much a Discord bot that checks to make sure that you have an NFT to be able to for authentication. So this is not on chain. This is and I think calling this a slimmed down version of XBallot is even not really. I would say it's so slimmed down that it's not even close to the same thing. They both have voting, but XBallot was all on chain, all using the blockchain. This is purely using Discord, and the only thing that it uses the chain whatsoever is checking to make sure that you hold an NFT for the voting purposes. So keep that in mind so you're not expecting that this is a safe, decentralized voting apparatus whatsoever. Extremely centralized, somebody could go in and just modify a database. I'm not saying this is not important, but I want to make sure that people understand what they're voting on.
Yeah, I could have highlighted that more. A lot of the proposal just mentioned DAO all over the place. And you're right. This is not creating DAOs. DAOs are legal entities. This is just Discord.
I'm laughing because Andrew asking if this is an algogenous smart contract, and that's a deep cut, Andrew. That's a deep cut. Super Synapse asked in the chat, could there be a website? My belief on this is no, there can't be, because everything is going to be built into the Discord tooling. Having a website or a web interface, it's not a module thing. This is going to be a Discord only thing.
Right. He did mention that in the future, if they build other features, more comprehensive solutions, that website's a possibility, but not for this.
Yeah, a snapshot.org, it would be a huge thing, but that's much closer to what XBallot is and not what this is.
And so TD, can you I know you actually said it in your, when you were going through the due diligence, and maybe I didn't fully hear it, but what is do you see, especially in testnet, this being used for? So would it just be NFT creators coming in to be how should we use our BIA that we won to distribute or something like that? It's just kind of basic votes. Okay.
That was really the main example that the proposer used. They have VIA. Let's vote on how we use it. Let's vote on what NFTs we collect, how we give them away. I had a thought about my own project and how we have these little. We run polls about how our treasury is going to be invested. It's pretty informal, right? Ultimately, I'm in control of it, but it's cool to get the holders' input, and by having it weighted, that definitely rewards the longer term users and holders of multiple NFTs.
Gotcha. So you find value in this for your community?
I definitely would. Yeah, I would add it.
Okay, cool.
Easily.
Yeah, I don't foresee Humble using this, but I think that's just different, obviously different things. So I was just curious if this is something similar, especially the NFT communities. I think it probably would be good for. So good to know.
Yeah, let's be great for the NFT communities. I think it's fine tool.
Also mention it's meme coin community can use it as well. It works for fungible tokens. So you hold X amount of Taco coin, or any other coin within the community, maybe you have more voting power.
Yeah, a lot of people saying in the chat that 25 million's a bit too high, probably, honestly. But at the same time, how much too high is it? Is the question. I think it's probably closer to this. This is much closer to what Algo Leagues did. So the question: how much do we do for Algo Leagues? Does anyone remember? They probably did 3 million for Algo Leagues.
Oh wow! Okay. Well.
Yeah, we paid too little for that one.
Yeah, I thought we paid 10 or 15. So
yeah, I would say this is probably closer to 10, 15 million. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we should, maybe revisit how much we should give to Algo Leagues. By the way, or they should do another proposal for all the extra work that they've done. Hint, hint, Algo Leagues, if you're watching this. Cool. Well, I think that's. Is there another DD, Shanti, or is this it?
That's all.
So it's just open conversation. There's two topics I really want to hit in open conversation. One, I really, really, really want to hit because I think it's extremely important is the web dev payout situation. And my thoughts overall on that. And I think that this is something that needs to be discussed really, it's very important because right now it looks bad. That to give everybody actually like a heads up of what I'm talking about here is that web dev believed that they completed the milestone, and believe Lobo and Wilder said that they didn't. And web dev is very upset about this, understandably, that he's not receiving the milestone payments. What it boils down to is that if you read the milestone, he's completed the milestone. The milestone was to deliver the existing implementation and all relevant code to open source to receive that milestone. He did that. I talked to Wilder about this last week. I haven't talked to you, Lobo, about it, so you're feel free to actually bring up. But at the end of the day, the understanding, I believe, of their part was that there was going to be extra features added and released that's open source, but that's not what the milestone says, and I don't know why that was believed to be. But at the end of the day, the milestone says releasing the existing implementation and the relevant code, and he did that, and it's not being paid.
So, in my opinion, we heavily fucked up, all of us, all governors, because we approved such a milestone. So the problem is, I tend to agree that they should get the VIA, but I think we definitely have to learn what we did wrong here and how we stop this kind of things. So essentially the thing is, if I look at the proposal, I think of it as they want to submit, so they want to essentially build what the AMM bounty says them to build. And the AMM bounty says there needs to be VSA compatibility. Yeah. And it doesn't have that. Problem is, the milestone says just what Chris said. So you build what you build, and here's the VIA. And then the thing is, but also the solution says that it will integrate VSAs. But not one of the milestone says it will integrate VSAs. So we also have now, essentially, we look at the top of the proposal and it has a milestone, and then everything underneath is kind of irrelevant. And that's a big problem. So we have to make sure, in my opinion, that we don't have milestones that invalidate everything that is beneath this top part of the proposal. And we need to make sure that if someone applies to do a bounty, then that this needs to be made clear in the proposal.
I think I agree with all of that said. I think there's two separate topics here. There's let's pay this man, one topic, because whatever the milestone says, this is what we agreed to build. So let's go ahead and get this paid. So this is out. And then the next conversation is how do we fix the actual proposal process so that there is not a misunderstanding upon what the final solution is and where the milestones are. So like, can we first just talk about, can we just agree to pay web dev and get this over with? Like this, let's get this paid.
Yeah, I agree. I think if anyone has any, oh, sorry, what was that?
I mean,
I don't understand why payment's being withheld.
Another problem is that COPE just doesn't apply, doesn't comment on it, and he's the one who has to sign it off. So that is another problem in this case, that the governor isn't doing his job. And he was tagged. He replied with one sentence that he didn't know that he had to do more work, and then never said anything again for the last 4 or 5 days.
So you're stepping in lieu of Coop because he
No,
did the
I'm
DD?
not. I definitely don't want to do that.
Okay, so who is holding it up then? If you're not the one that's holding, like you're saying it's not you and it's not Coop.
It's Coop.
Wilder is not releasing funds. So vacation or not, we should definitely get this sorted. I'm a little perturbed, to be honest. It seems opposite of what we aim to achieve here.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
it's Coop who's
I'd love
heading
a-
this up, and a director would have to sign it off now.
I bet Andrew can get a hold of Wilder and have that fixed pretty quick. Andrew?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree that it should be paid. I think that this is on the council for missing the due diligence. I mean, definitely, I don't want to throw Coop under their bus. I abstained from the vote, but I did read through it, and honestly, just to give him a little bit of credit, I was a little bit confused too, especially with the differences between the solutions and then the milestones. It kind of went over me, but again, I didn't dig too deep. But I do think, I mean, if this is what we said we would give him for these milestones, and he completed those milestones, regardless if it's a functioning product or anything, we have to give him those tokens. Otherwise, I think that, we can't go back and start retroactively changing things just because we made mistakes. So I'll talk with Wilder. It should be no problem getting those out. Shanti, I don't know if I'll need to work with you or how that's going to all work, but we'll discuss after the meeting.
Thank you. Let me know if you need any help. I don't think I can because I'm not a director, but it just feels very opposite of what, we did all the work. It's already done and dusted. There's no reason payment should be being withheld. I would say though, that the next order of business should be moving to vote to remove Coop from the council. I feel like that's been a long time coming, so.
Definitely we can, I mean, obviously if that's like an official declaration, we can definitely put that to vote.
Yes, that is an official nomination to remove him
all
from
right.
the council.
Then we will put it up. I'm trying to remember the process here, but we'll, I believe we were doing the votes in Discord, if I remember correctly. So let me just kind of refresh myself on that process, but that's plan to put it up here in the next, 24 hours.
I think I remember part of the process was notifying Coop, giving him a chance to, make his case if he wants to.
I
Perfect.
imagine
I'll reach
he'll
out to him.
step down, but yeah, I think the process is that somebody has to nominate it to happen. And then they get told, and then, there's a little here and there back and forth in the next meeting before a vote, if I'm not mistaken, is the process that we had followed the one other time that we've had to do this. What's next on open floor, Chris?
So the other thing that I just want to bring up, I'm glad that we get this set up so web dev can kind of finally get paid. But the next thing is the announcement that I made was we started, I don't know if you guys were able to tell or not, but the core team has actually been heads down a lot lately. We've been doing a lot less public things because we've been doing a lot of planning and thinking. And one of the things that is coming soon is the end of the incentivized testnet. So a lot of conversations have been happening about that, and just want to make sure that as far as transparency wise, we want to make sure everybody knows that these conversations have started. And this means, of course, the final snapshot and what happens next. There's going to be a transition period between the incentivized testnet and mainnet. And we've been doing a lot of planning and thinking what that is, but mainly just wanted to make sure that people know that this has been, been thinking about, has been conversations been had. So there's not a surprise. So that's really all. And if anybody has any questions or any thoughts about that, you can come up and ask. I don't have the chat open.
I would say while we're waiting for people to come up there, I just wanted to throw this out too, just so you guys know, we will have some upcoming votes. 2 of them are going to be around the NFT games. Shoot, I lost my. Where's my? So yeah, there's going to be upcoming changes to the NFT games for phase 2. So we're going to be looking at incentivizing traders as well as a new creator onboarding fund. You guys should get the documents if Scotty hasn't sent them out yet. Go, definitely review them. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Zyphoid, and we can hopefully help answer those.
I got a question on the ending of the testnet, the incentivized testnet. Would that mean people would want to redeem their DVOI for VIA? Or no, it would be for VOI.
Yeah. So as far as actually the incentivized testnet goes, the date will be announced well ahead of time. So people have the ability to convert and do whatever need to be. The thinking as of right now is very much that we are going to only snapshot VOI, only snapshot VIA, and it's up to the users that have it to take it out of whatever contracts that it's in for that snapshot date.
Good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, or the projects themselves would handle then doing further distributions if they go that route. But fully up to you if you want to leave it there or take it out. Ultimately.
Because the project could just keep your running as if they wanted to. So
yeah, there's no guarantee they'll give it to you. We can't force them to.
Yeah, I have a question about the ending of the testnet. Maybe less of a question and more of a, I'm going to say what my assumption is, and then I want to be corrected. So my assumption is that when we switch to mainnet, there is no necessary connection between our testnet governance council and whatever similar governance structure exists on mainnet. We are doing something right now for testnet, and hopefully we've made a contribution to what will happen in mainnet, but there's no automatic transition of us in any meaningful role. Some of us want there to be some engagement, but it's not necessary. So that's assumption number one. And then assumption number two is that our power ceases to matter after mainnet, because even if, for example, we could disperse testnet funds, the snapshot will have already happened. So anything that we did, whether we could do it or not, would be irrelevant. So those are two assumptions that I have, and I see Chris nodding his head, but maybe you just want to confirm and add anything to that.
100%. So yes, when the snapshot happens, the game will be over. And everything that we've learned from it, everything will be taken and applied for the mainnet, but there is no transition from testnet to mainnet, especially the governance. And there's no guarantee of any transition or anything. It's a completely separate network that will be launched by its own entity, everything of that. They're complete clean cut. All of that being said, there will most likely be a transition period and gap period between the snapshot and any type of mainnet as well. So there will be even a transition period after that. The testnet will still be going. One of the things that we're just give you a little more why I'm making this clear is that, and this is kind of like what I alluded to in the messaging today in the Discord, is that I feel like the incentivized testnet as of today and the way that it's actually structured has done its job. It's established an amazing, strong foundation of great believers, and that there needs to be a portion of time before the end of this testnet and the actual mainnet where we can cast a wider net, where we can make more noise, where we can actually bring in more people. And, testnet will still be going on, but it'll be a completely potentially different game that isn't connected to the first game at all.
I do have one quick question, Chris. I know we're running over here, but did you have any timeline for expectations when we'll have more information around any mainnet councils, or how you guys plan to tackle that, any opportunities that might arise from that?
That's all being planned right now, and that will be released by the appropriate entity when those entities are established and can actually say things. I would expect within the next couple of weeks there's more news. Once again, don't have the chat open, so I don't know if people are. Any questions that win? It's that IRL. Okay. I believe the answer is Thune is the answer to win.
Quick comment. Do we need to talk about the NFT games? Do we have to vote on that? Because they put in a lot of work, from what I could tell, meeting and trying to essentially define, I think, new KPIs to incentivize, like to focus on inclusivity and trading volume.
So the way that I look,
go for it, Chris.
The way that I look at the NFT games is that when you guys actually approve the bucket of tokens for the NFT games, you put a thing in there that allowed for the NFT creators to govern themselves. So I believe that the voting that should happen, unless they need more funds, is purely done by the actual NFT creators and not the governance committee. And that's something that's happened since maybe Andrew has more information.
No, you are right, and actually, so that might have been a little bit of misunderstanding on my part. So yes, we do have the NFT like council, however you'd want to say that, or participators, creators who are voting on this. But I definitely would like for I didn't get time obviously to go over today, but definitely governors should look through this. Give any feedback. I know there's been a couple people who have given feedback. Lobo, I think you were one of them, so I appreciate it. But any questions, comments, concerns, obviously, definitely address it with us, being Zyphoid and myself.
The only thing I have done is I've told the creators that I will put 20 million of my own personal via up to whatever they want to do with it. So I don't know. Like, nobody's told me any new plans, so I don't know what they want to do with it yet. But I'm assuming somebody will eventually.
I don't want to be like that fuddy-duddy that's like, but it says these rules may be changed or be updated as the games progress, but not without an announcement or approval from the Void Testnet Council. So I would say that if the NFT Council is voting on it, then the Testnet Council just has to make an announcement of that vote, is how I'm reading that. But I just didn't want it to slip through the cracks.
I strongly recommend let's not step on their toes. Let the NFT creators decide what they want to do with it, and yes, the council can announce whatever that they decide.
Perfect. And Chris, I don't know if you have any suggestions on this. Like I said, I apologize. I've been a little bit out of the loop on the NFT game, so I just want to make sure I'm doing this properly. Like I said, big shout out to Wilder for putting this all together. For getting their votes, I mean, is this best to tackle probably through like Discord, or do you guys have a is there any process that I might be missing that I should follow?
Everybody's been using Discord so far.
Yeah, there's a voting channel under the NFT games section within the Discord that's been used previously.
All right, perfect. And I will get that up maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours. So governors, if you could just please review this, I will post it in the chat here. And then I believe it's on our agenda too as well. That was emailed out. So just take a look through it. Any questions, comments, concerns, send them to me. And then if there's nothing, if I don't hear from anyone, I'm just going to assume you guys are all on board and I'll make the announcement.
All right. Well, I think that's everything, right? Sorry going over. But it's been fun once again. I can't wait until next week. And if anybody has any questions or any thoughts, concerns.
Guess we lost him.
I think you froze.
All right.
Oh, he's back.
I'm froze?
You were gone for about 10 seconds.
Oh, well. All I said is thank you, everybody.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.